Welcome back to part 2 of day 27 of Walk, Run, Soar. This is number 36 in the book, Running to Worship. This was a really good one. I really enjoyed this one. Our verse is from the Message translation, but I actually really like how it words it. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. So here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. That's the part I like, is that last. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. All right, so she references the movie Chariots of Fire, and I really don't even know if I've watched that movie all the way through, but I kind of understand the concept. But she talks about Eric Liddell, I hope I'm saying his last name right, also known as the Flying Scotsman, and he was the sprinter who inspired the movie, and he won the gold medal in the 400-meter dash during the Paris Olympics in 1924, and I definitely didn't know this. He also went down in history for refusing to run an Olympic race on a Sunday because of his religious beliefs. He has a quote that he's famous for: "God made me fast, and when I run, I feel His pleasure." Eric understood that running was not just for his personal glory and to win medals. He felt God's pleasure when he ran because he was doing what God designed him to do. And the verse that she led off with talks about viewing all of our aspects of life as an act of worship, just like Eric offered up his running. We don't have to go to a church building to experience worship, and the English word worship means to ascribe worth to something. And I know that a lot of times you hear it in church, in sermons and stuff, and I think it's true that even if you're not worshiping God, I mean, everybody worships something. It's something you ascribe worth to. We all have something in our life that is taking center stage, shall we say. So, the verse from Romans talks about that we can worship God while we sing, cook, wash dishes, drive, work, rest, and yes, even while we run. Worship has the power to lift our spirits, to turn us towards hope, and to change the landscape of our hearts. I like that one. I know I'm in choir. I'm sure I've mentioned it. And some of my favorites, especially if I'm having like a weird or a rough week, we have choir practice on Wednesdays. And I look forward to it every week because that's what it does, getting to be with that community and work on songs, and just a lot of times a good quarter portion of our choir practice just ends up with our choir director just talking about something that God's showing him that week, and sharing it with us. And it really does change the landscape of my heart. I never leave choir practice feeling the same or worse. I always feel uplifted, always feel better. And she says, when I notice God's glory in the midst of hard days, I can't help but respond in worship. And that's true. I have had that happen too. When I'm having a hard day and something will happen, either a person or a situation, or I'll see something outside while I'm on a run that just helps. Sorry about that. My husband's home, so I need to wrap this up. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, Paul exhorts us, so whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Another quote from Eric that he said, in the dust of defeat as well as the laurels of victory, there is a glory to be found if one has done his best. I know I mentioned it, that's the attitude I take with my racing, because I know I'm not going to be like number one at anything or any age group, but if I know that I've done my best, that's a victory for me. So she closes with, whether in his running or his mission work, Eric was always intentional to give the glory back to God. And she encourages us to do that same thing, and that it will change the landscape of your heart. So our faith step: what if we had a posture of worship each time we went out to walk and run? What might this look like for you? Are there any songs that help you worship? All of them. I love worship music. And she actually shares that there's a Walk, Run, Soar playlist on Spotify. I don't have Spotify, so I haven't had a chance to check that out. But if you have Spotify, check it out and let me know what kind of songs are on there. And she also obviously encourages make your own playlist of songs that are uplifting. Our inspirational quote is by Steve Prefontaine, American Olympic distance runner during the 70s. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. I like that. Our training notes from Coach Sean. Listening to music while running has several benefits. It can energize you, take your mind off of running, and get you in a good rhythm. However, if you're running outside, be sure that you can hear traffic, cyclists, and other runners around you. That's important. I was even wearing my aftershocks that are actually open the other day, and I did not hear a car because they were turned up too loud. Fortunately, the car saw me and honked. So, yes, be careful. So I love this one. I'm big into worship, obviously, as you can probably tell. I love to sing, and I love using my time outside running it just to enjoy God's creation. It's some of my favorite times. And on that note, we are traveling, which you will hear more about in my Sunday video, but there'll be some cool things to see where we're going. So I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone has a great weekend. There will just be one post on Saturday for Walk, Run, Soar, and then my update on Sunday. So look forward to those, and I will see you then.